Um, After last night's game, I think we really need to look at the broader picture here. I do agree that some of the decisions made by ownership, Mike Davis specifically, is starting to we're starting to get into Jerry Jones territory. And as a Raiders fan, it's getting a little concerning. Here he is, hired a GM, John Spytek. He thought he was qualified on the outside looking in. He looked qualified. He was the GM at assistant GM for the Buccaneers for the last 9 years. His goal was to improve the team through the draft, and as it sits right now, the way I'm looking at it, I don't think that he has really improved the team too much. I mean, granted, we did get a great running back in Genty. I think Genty has a great future ahead of him, but there were some more glaring issues that we needed to look at that we just simply didn't cover, specifically in the quarterback position. He brought in Pete Carroll. I didn't think that was a good idea because I felt like Pete Carroll really didn't do much in the past like 4 to 5 years in Seattle that merited like him being looked at over other head coaches. So for me, it just wasn't a good idea. And then when I look at the fact that Pete Carroll has a like an older mindset philosophy for coaching, he's bringing his baggage with him. He's like Dion say, he's bringing his Louis luggage instead. It's not Louis luggage. We're getting something along the lines of Walmart luggage. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a mess. Last night definitely showed that the Raiders have definitely some glaring weaknesses, specifically at the quarterback position. Geno Smith threw for 180 yards. He threw for 3 interceptions. He had a quarterback rating of 37. I don't know how in the world you can justify paying him $75 million for 2 years with 66 million guaranteed, and he puts on a performance like that. He was so bad, it couldn't even establish a run game or even help the run game. He threw into coverage multiple times. And we're not talking about someone that's like been proven. And that's what I think like the biggest issue is here is Geno Smith has never proven himself as a viable QB1 in the NFL. You look at even when he was in Seattle, even when he's with the Jets, this man has played for over 10 years and has never won a playoff game. So that should tell you enough right there. He's not a viable option. I feel like we should in the draft we should have drafted a quarterback at some point. You know what I mean? Even if you didn't get him in the first round, you should at least got him in the third, second, wherever. And then another thing also too is our weapons. We have a lot of weapons. We have pieces for him to win. We have two of the best tight ends in the NFL in Brock Bowers and Mayer. So I don't really see that as an excuse. And then, we got Amari Cooper come. He got signed through free agency, but he saw what was going on with the team and he just simply quit. So I mean, it's just a lot of signs pointing to this team is not being run properly. And the game last night, the defense, I don't really blame that game on the defense. I really blame it on offense. To go 4 quarters in an entire football game and not be able to score, you had multiple red zone trips where you didn't give Genty the ball. It's just a complete and total just meltdown of offensive philosophy. And you would think we got Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly came off of a great year prior. And it's just not working out. It's just not translating it. And so at this point, the only thing you can look at is Mike Davis and be like, that's where the problem starts. And it's very concerning. I mean, when you look at, even with us moving forward, we have the Commanders next week. It's not getting any easier. And traditionally and historically, Geno Smith, he has a great record against the Washington Commanders. He's never thrown an interception in a game he's played against the Commanders. Everything on paper looks like it would add up to be a good game, but I'm just not sold. And at this point, we need to go back to the drawing board, man. We need to go. I mean, even if we give Kenny Pickett a try at this point, I mean, what do we really have to lose? We're 1-1. We just lost one of the most important games of the year to the Chargers. They're not only are they in our division, but they are one of our chief rivals besides the Chiefs. And we have to look at it. If we can't be competitive in the AFC West, then I mean we're going to be in trouble looking down the road, and the schedule is only getting harder. And there's really we really have to move forward with that. We really have to do something that's going to make something stand. And I think maybe going out to get a quarterback Maybe seeing what we can trade to get a quarterback is our next best option. Do I think that's going to happen? No. I think Pete Carroll is all in on Geno, and that's unfortunate because it's gonna show through the year. Which I was looking back at the game. He forced a lot of passes. He was just forcing a lot of plays down the middle. He forced a really bad ball down the right side of it. It was almost like he chucked it down the field. Also, too, our offensive line, I wouldn't say is bad, but it's definitely not one of the best. But it could definitely be, it could be something that he can make plays with. Even our wide receiver core, everybody keeps saying Gino doesn't have weapons. He doesn't have the pieces to do it. He has more than enough. Even when we go back to Tom Brady, I'm not comparing him to Tom Brady, but Tom Brady never had pieces. There's a lot of players that never had the marquee pieces that you need, but got it done. And at that point, that's what the Raiders need. We need someone that can come in there and win games. I saw last night also Tom Brady was in the booth talking to Gino, trying to figure out what's going on. But it's like, at the end of the day, Tom Brady can't go out there and throw the football for you. You got to make a decision. You got to make the right decision with the ball. Um, I think John Spytek, tried to make the best decision what he did. Should he have drafted a quarterback? Absolutely. I don't know how you go into the year with just Geno Smith and thinking that that's enough. But we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see and move into next week, and hopefully, something gets done. Um, but I do think that this is definitely showing on the ownership, and they need to tighten up quick. They need to tighten up quick because it's not looking good. It's bad.